All right, let's tackle something a little controversial today. What if everything you've ever been taught about debt is just wrong? You know, the whole avoid it at all costs, fear it, always pay cash thing. What if following that advice is actually the reason you're not getting ahead financially? We're going to explore how the wealthy look at debt, not as a trap, but as a powerful, powerful tool.
I mean, that statement just flips everything we know on its head, right? The idea that while most of us are, running away from debt, cutting up our credit cards, trying to live below our means, the rich are actually running towards it. They're borrowing millions, and somehow they're getting richer every single day. So what is the secret? What do they know that the rest of us don't?
Okay, let's really dive into this paradox. Look, the whole idea of avoiding debt, it feels safe. And hey, for a lot of people, it really is the responsible thing to do. But here's the catch when you think about it as a wealth-building strategy. It just doesn't make you rich. It's a philosophy of playing financial defense. And when you're always on defense, you can never score. It keeps you from playing financial offense. And well, it often means living a much smaller life than you really want to. And this brings us to the absolute heart of the wealthy mindset. See, the secret isn't to just avoid debt completely. No, it's all about understanding that there's a huge critical difference between two types of debt. It's not about how much debt you have, it's about what kind of debt you have.
So first, let's talk about bad debt. And honestly, this is the one we're all pretty familiar with. It's your car payment, it's the mortgage on the house you live in, it's that credit card balance from buying a new TV. The key is every single month, this kind of debt yanks money out of your pocket. It literally makes you poorer.
Okay, now let's flip the coin and look at its awesome counterpart, good debt. This is when you use debt to buy something, an asset, that actually makes you money. The classic example, right, is getting a loan for a rental property. Your tenant pays rent, that rent covers the mortgage, the taxes, the insurance, and whatever's left over, that goes straight into your pocket. Now that is the kind of debt that makes you richer.
So let's just put them side by side for a second. It's super clear, right? On one side, you've got bad debt, money flowing out, weighing you down. On the other side, you've got good debt, money flowing in, lifting you up. One is a liability that just drains your wallet. The other is a tool to build your wealth. And here's the secret sauce. The wealthy focus on stacking up those assets on the right to pay for the fun stuff on the left.
I love this analogy. It's so powerful. Think about it. When someone tells you to gut up your credit cards, what are they really saying? They're basically saying you can't be trusted with a powerful tool. You know, a loaded gun in the hands of someone who's untrained. Yeah, that's incredibly dangerous. But in the hands of someone with training, with education, who respects its power, it's a tool for protection. Debt is exactly the same.
Okay, so theory is great and all, but let's see how this whole concept actually plays out in the real world. There's this simple story about buying a car that just perfectly highlights the massive difference between a poor mindset and a rich one.
So the story starts with this friend who is just beaming, totally proud of himself. Why? Because he just bought a used car. And get this, he paid cash for it, only $3,500. And man, he feels so smart, so responsible, and best of all, he's totally debt-free.
But, and this is a big but, here's the trap he fell into. He's in his 40s now, and he's driving around in what's described as a pretty depressing vehicle that smells like old cigarettes. He thinks he won the game because he avoided debt, but his financial intelligence? It's kind of stuck back in high school. He's settling for way less than he actually wants out of life.
All right, now let's look at the complete opposite approach. So Robert Kiyosaki sees his absolute dream car, a super rare 1989 Porsche Speedster, literally the first one ever built. Of course, he doesn't have the cash just sitting around, but his wife Kim throws down this awesome challenge, the Rich Dad Challenge. She says, don't just buy it, go find an asset that will pay for it. And the strategy here is it's a total masterclass in financial thinking. First, yeah, he got a loan for the Porsche. That's the bad debt. But then comes the brilliant part, the part that takes some financial smarts. He went out and found a mini storage project in Texas and used a totally separate loan, the good debt, to buy it. And he made sure that cash flow from all those storage units was more than enough to cover the Porsche payments. So what was the result? He got his dream car and a brand new stream of income on top of it.
And this just shows the difference so clearly, doesn't it? The friend? He's out $3,500 and now he owns something that's just losing value every day. The rich dad way? He gets the dream car plus an asset that's putting money in his pocket, making him richer long after the car is paid off. I mean, it's two totally different worlds, all because of two different mindsets.
You know, this all brings us to a much, much deeper point.
The problem isn't really the debt itself, good or bad. The real problem, more often than not, it's us. It's our emotions, and it's our level of financial education. So let's just ask the question directly. Is debt the real enemy we should be fighting? The argument here is no. Bad debt is just a symptom. It's the thing you can see on the surface, but it's pointing to a much deeper issue that really needs to be fixed.
The argument is that bad financial choices almost always come from our emotions. It's that fear of looking poor, right? Or trying to keep up with the Joneses. Or just that greedy feeling of wanting something right now, instant gratification. And here's the thing. If you manage to get out of debt, but you never deal with those powerful emotional triggers, guess what? You're probably going to end up right back where you started.
And this is a universal truth when it comes to money, and it's captured perfectly in this quote from Warren Buffett. Financial success isn't just about being good at math. It's about mastering your own psychology. Because if your emotions are in the driver's seat of your financial life, you are absolutely heading for a crash.
Ultimately, this all boils down to a fundamental choice. A choice you have to make about how you see the world and your place in it. It really is a choice between a mindset of scarcity and a mindset of abundance. The source material uses this really powerful analogy of two different worldviews. Which version do you believe in? Is it the one where the world is scarce, where you're supposed to live humbly, deny yourself nice things just to stay safe? Or do you believe in a world that's full of abundance, packed with wonderful things for you to enjoy responsibly? And this is the third option. This is the path of the financially educated. It's not a choice between being miserable but debt-free or being happy but totally broke. No, it's about learning the real rules of money so you can have the life you want, paid for by your assets, not just by your paycheck.
So that's really the final question for you. When it comes to money, there are two sets of rules. There are the rules that the poor and the middle class play by, and they often lead to a life of just working hard and struggling. And then there are the rules the rich play by, and those rules lead to wealth and freedom. You get to decide which game you want to learn and which game you want to play. The choice is yours.